Hey, welcome back to Customs by J-Mac. What in the heck is going on with the pickup? It looks like the off-road wrecker is having a day, doesn't it? I'll show you just how slick this works. Check this out. And that's all it takes. Now you just go right back up if you want. This thing would make Optimus Prime and Bumblebee and those guys proud. They'd be like, heck yeah, that freaking Dodge is transforming. For those that are thinking, how are you gonna work on that if you have the engine clear up under the cab? Well, this was always the plan. I kept talking about what I was going to do with the cab. Yeah, there it is. It's not up all the way by any means. It'll go up much higher. It'll go all the way over if you allow it to. The plan is for it to go up to where you could pull the engine, transmission, and transfer case all in one shot, just straight up. So this running board's got to go. That rocker's it'll get rebuilt with a slider like the other side, but the running board will be gone. So this has to go up to where it's over here. But I'm going to make it to where everything clears, and I'm going to make it to where my shifters and everything will mount to the top of the transmission, and there'll be a hole in the floor. You will literally have to pull out 3 or 4 bolts on the passenger side, maybe a couple in the front, haven't decided, maybe not. And then I was going to run this with hydraulics and just run a splitter off of one of my hydraulic feeds to where I could just bump a handle and run the spool, and it would pick the cab up. But then I got to thinking, my hydraulics run off of my engine. If you need to get into the engine and you need to do this with the cab, likely the hydraulics aren't going to work. And then you're just going to have a cylinder hooked to it that's going to be in the way. I scrapped that idea. I'll build a prop rod down here with a limiting strap. You'll just hook onto the other side with anything, another vehicle with a winch or anything like that. I also built it to where you'll be able to just pull the bolts and pull the cab like you regularly would. I don't know exactly why you would want to now that we've got this done. This other side, when I was building that rocker and I said that I did something special with it, this is what I did. So it's got these receiver hitch tubes that are connected to the frame. These will get gusseted from the top of the frame down to them, but there's 3 of them, and they were all 3 different, so there was a little bit of work in getting them right and getting them lined up to where it would work. So that's what I've been up to. I'll throw some video in here as to how I did that. I welded up the rocker and showed all the stuff. I just kept it from you because I wanted to show you this first. Now I've got all my clearances and stuff figured out as far as clearing my exhaust, so I can build the floorboard for the passenger side now. All my heater hoses and stuff will go in the cab on the driver's side here. That's where my hinge is at. So if my hoses come around and go in there and then back up to wherever the heater's at, I won't have to unhook anything. Like, I'm not going to unhook my water, not going to unhook the intercooler for the turbo. The AC lines will go through over there. The brake lines will get put on a big braided line that'll go from the master cylinder down to the frame. Literally have to unhook nothing but a few bolts. Throw the cab over, get to your injectors, your fuel line, pull your valve cover. Yes, it is a tight fit, and yes, the engine does sit under the cowling, but I remedied that. I took like the Ford theory of let's pull the cab to do anything, made it simple. Like a true, I don't know, say like elementary engineer should be able to do. I don't know why they can't come up with stuff like this from the factory. So, on to the next thing. I think I'm going to, but I'm not 100% sure that's what I'm going to do. I might, we're going to be moving this front axle out, forward, however much that we have to fit this jewelry on it. Enjoy the video, and I'll do that to the driver's side. We'll make the cab do this on video. Okay, I got all these tabs cut up yesterday before I left, and I have to bolt them together here. It's probably too tight. Oh, that's not tight at all. Yeah, maybe it is. Cut all these tabs out yesterday before I left, and I cut this machinist tubing that's got a 3/4 inch ID and an 1.5 OD. You guys have seen now what this does, and now I'm back to kind of show you me building it. So this one goes on the front. On the end I got this ear on it that will cap the end of the square tube. Got one more to put together here. Picked up these high bay LEDs to put in here so it's not so dark. It can't help but help. I know some of my earlier videos were so dark that they were kind of annoying. They were so dark. Especially up against that outside wall over there. There is no light over there to be had. So this will be the back mount, and this is just flat. This will be the middle mount. It's got this little offset in it. That's because the pinch weld of the cab goes in here, and then this will weld to the rocker. So this will have a gap in it when I slide the rocker up in it, and then I'll weld this to the cab. Now I'll be on the rocker. That'll lock everything in, and then this slope matches the bottom of the cab where it slopes up, where the seat belts and stuff are. And I'll be able to weld the majority of this to the floor as well. This is 2 inches apart, so I can use a piece of receiver square tube in here to keep this gapped out to where I don't get a whole lot of movement when I'm welding. I have my marks already on here. Now I have to make sure that I weld this right, because if I weld it wrong, then it'll go on either the wrong side of the cab or it won't go on at all. And that would be bad because I don't want to start over on this whole thing. So this is the driver's side. And this is the front. So it's going to be like that. You get the welder turned on. These need to be welded on to where these bolts run in a straight line because, as you saw, we're building a great big hinge. guys should have stopped me. I just welded the end one on the middle. That won't work. got a batch of gussets to add to it, but so this one has one of the old cab support extra brace things on this side. This one has one on this side, and this one has one on this side. So if I put these gussets in the wrong spot, this rock slider won't slide in. So I'm going to pull these bolts out, take the round piece out, and we'll weld the inside so that they don't just break off like you saw me do on that middle one that I welded in the wrong spot. Now it shouldn't wiggle. Now this ear, the reason it comes up like this way I can weld this to the bottom of the cab, but also there will be a plate on here, and this is where my roll cage is going to tie into. So the roll cage will have a plate here and the roll cage will weld to it here. So then my roll cage and my rock sliders and everything will be very, very well tied together that way. So that was the whole idea behind that. using my little 2-pound hammer here. Okay, well, that's pretty much me welding that up and getting it put back together. Now I'm going to go over and put it in the rig, and that will be something that you've already seen, because I'm going to have it kind of under there where you can't see the hinges when I put it on, as you've noticed, so that when I tilt the cab it has a dramatic effect. So see you over at the other shop again, in the past, in the future. Yeah, you know what I mean.